Man, stupid glare. Okay. Is that going to do anything? No, of course not. How about that? Nope. Son of a bitch, this lamp. How's that? Hey, that's good. Okay, fine. Finally. Alright. So what I want to do is I want to put these three into Nekusar. Like I said before, if you change that K to a double G, that'd be a good name for a rapper. So, Rap Man here. What does he do? 1 black, 1 blue, 1 red for 2/4 legendary zombie wizard. Beginning of each player's draw step, they draw an additional card. So I want to. Now, this is a commander that used to be really popular, but I think he's fallen out of favor. None of the lads I play with have him anymore. A lot of them saw him for the first time when I played him last week. So whenever an opponent draws a card, Nekusar deals 1 damage to that player. So at the beginning, everybody's draw step, they draw an additional card. So, drawing 2 cards a turn, and he's doing 2 damage to each opponent a turn, as long as he's in play. The thing is, the way this deck used to be built, a lot of people were doing, is they would put in, everybody draws effects, like Howling Mine, Dictate a Crucifix, and that sort of thing. So everybody's drawing cards just en masse. And what happens is people figure out, oh, if I kill Nekusar, if I just keep Nekusar off the field, I get all these cards for free, and I don't take damage for it. I just have to, we have to king up and kill Nekusar, and it becomes a group hug deck. So my build, what it did is only put in wheel effects. So I decide when I'm going to trigger the multiple card draw. So if Nekusar is not on the field, unless my hand is empty, I'm not going to wheel. I'm not going to. I will play Teferi's Puzzle Box. That's just funny. I'm not going to break a memory jar. I'm not going to trigger Whirlpool Warrior. I'm not going to do a Windfall unless Nekusar or some other punishing card is on the field. So that's the way I built it. And then the other thing I did is I put in a lot of these Undying Evil effects. Let me find an example of one. So, Supernatural Stamina. Until end of turn, target creature gets +2/+0. Kinda doesn't matter with Nekusar. And when it dies, return to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. So, somebody kills Nekusar. The idea is I would have one of these, and I have 6 copies of these. Am I at 4 or 5 counterspells? I think 5. So, inshallah, I would have an Undying Evil effect or a counterspell to stop people from killing Nekusar. Or, I've got Riptide Laboratory to bounce it back to my hand. Some way of getting around the commander tax, some way of keeping him in play so he keeps doing damage. So what's happened is the deck just, it's not quite firing on all cylinders. So I'm going to take out some of the cards that I was looking at in my hand and I either didn't want to cast, or like Dragon Mage, I couldn't cast because I didn't have the mana for a long time, and I'm going to tune it up a bit. Something else I want to do is I want to get a Yehini's Expertise to replace this Languish. The idea was I would hopefully draw Languish or Damnation early in the game, wipe out all the creatures, and then play Nekusar behind it. So most of the threats are gone. Doesn't always work out that way, and this will kill Nekusar. Well, I don't want him to die. So Yehini's Expertise, all the creatures who get -3/-3, Nekusar has 4 toughness, so he would survive. And also Yehini's Expertise. Not only do all the creatures get -3/-3, but you can play any card with 3 CMC or less for free upon resolution. So I want that. The thing is, it's only, is it a rare? It's cheap. It's really cheap. Nobody plays it. Does Cherny Retige, my LGFs, have any? No. So I have to order it from MKM, which means I have to put an order. I have to wait for shipping. I have to do, and it's not like the bank transfer costs anything, but it's just knowing the bank transfer takes about 3 days. So unless I have credit in MKM, unless I sold a card, I have to buy a 19-cent foil, 19 euro cents, pay a euro 50 for post, and then wait 2 or 3 days for the bank transfer, and then have it sent to me. So it just, until I sell a card in MKM, I'm not bothering with it. It's just too much trouble. So let's look at these guys. Why am I replacing the Fire Mine? Actually, a lot of you guys are probably asking, why am I taking out the other half of an infinite combo? Have I lost my fucking mind? No. I'm taking out half of an infinite combo. Well, it only lasts as long as my library lasts, to be honest. It's a finite combo. So why am I breaking up a finite combo that is pretty much guaranteed to kill at least one player? Because I don't want to do it. It's just too easy. Well, okay, dropping 2 6-mana dragons isn't really that easy, but I just don't want to do it. Okay, 4/4 flyer, 2 blue, red. In this deck, sometimes it's difficult to get. Sometimes he's difficult to cast. It is really nice that whenever I draw a card, he deals 1 damage to something, and I can tap him to draw a card. So the trick with him, what I would like to do is give him Basilisk Collar, and then Wheel of Fortune, for example, and I get 1 points of damage. And if he's got Basilisk Collar, that's 7 creatures I can just kill and gain 7 life. But that's not really what I want to do. I'm going to put this guy in. So he doesn't die to Languish, which I just explained. I want to replace Languish with Yahenni's Expertise, but I just won't be able to for a little while due to constraints I've placed on myself. But he's easier to cast. 4 colorless, blue-red. That's not difficult in this deck. He also says I have no maximum hand size. And whenever a source I control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, like Nekusar here, I draw them many cards. So as long as he's in play, every time Nekusar triggers, beginning of each opponent's draw step, they take 2 damage, I draw 2 cards. So that sounds like a good deal to me. That sounds pretty efficient. I like it. So the Fire Mind is being replaced by the Visionary. And then I have Dragon Mage. The problem with Dragon Mage is the same problem with Trigon Predator. He's a 5/5 flyer. So in this deck, he doesn't come out early. I don't have any tricks to bring down creatures earlier. It's not a creature deck. I have to get to 7 mana. He has to survive until my next turn in order to attack. He has to get over Summoning Sickness. And then I attack and he gets blocked by some stupid little chump with a reach. Or he gets blocked by some stupid flyer. It's not reliable to get him through in this build. Now, there will be times I do get him through. There will be times somebody is unable to block him, and I will get him through. But those times are not reliable enough to really be worth a slot. And since the deck doesn't have that many pinpoint ways of getting rid of a potential blocker, I'm going to take him out and put in Jin Gitaxias. Now, Jin Gitaxias, putting him in, actually argues for me leaving in the Fire Mind. Because at the beginning of my end step, I draw 7 cards. So that's 7 points of damage. That's pretty heavy. You know, each turn, 7 points of damage for free. But he costs 10. He costs 6. And it's unlikely I'm going to have them both in play at the same time. I have to, as cool as that would be, I just have to face facts. It's going to be hard enough to cast him. Even though I've got a bunch of mana rocks, I've got enough lands. But I do want him because of the restriction he places on my opponent. He slows down my opponents if he survives. But then I've got a lot of those Undying Evil effects. Now this guy is Counterspell. Not really. I kind of want to take out the Rhystic Study. But the Rhystic Study taxes my opponents. Taxes them. And even in later turns, I won't be drawing cards anymore with it. I will not. They will pay. But that means they have less mana to do any of the shit that they want to do. They have less mana to fuck with me. So I'm going to keep in Rhystic Study. And instead, I think I'm going to take out this combat trick. Not really sure about it. You know, 2 blue. Cast only during the declared blocker step on an opponent's turn. All attacking creatures get removed from combat, untapped. Then there's an additional combat phase, and those creatures attack someone else. They can't attack me or Planeswalker I control. So basically, you get attacked, you play this, and you tell all the creatures that attacked, they have to go attack somebody else. But they have to attack somebody else. So if you're getting attacked because you're the weaker player, and they didn't want to attack somebody else because he had a good suite of blockers, this will force dude to go deal with those blockers. But since this isn't really what the deck does, and at no point of the game did I really feel like I needed it, I'm going to take it out for Urtai Resurrected. So, Urtai Resurrected is another counterspell, but he's a disallow. He's not just counterspell. He's not Mystic Snake. He's a counterspell that can counterspell activated ability or triggered ability. So he can counter Bojuka Bog. He can counter Planeswalker Activation. He can counter more things that can fuck with me. And fuck with my plan. Plus, when he counters something, the controller draws a card. The controller of the effect. So if Nekusar is out, it takes a point of damage. So yeah, here's a card. It's going to hurt you. Or I can kill something. Or a Planeswalker. And it's going to look... Yeah?
I know this is not the best time to talk
What?
about it.
What?
Just, was it yesterday you showed me the space station?
The International Space Station?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me hurry up and end this.
Because it's not there anymore.
Well, yeah, it moves. So what my daughter's talking about is today we saw...
Yesterday.
That was today.
Really?
Yes, that was today. That was a couple hours ago.
Okay.
A couple hours ago I told you to look up in the sky at what looks like a star. But it was probably the ISS. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So my daughter now wants to see a picture of what the ISS looks like. So I'm pretty much done. I mean, I've explained what Urtai is replacing. I've explained what Jingatax is and Vision are replacing. Yeah, well, that's the Soul Ring.
Oh.
That's the Soul Ring. This is not the One Ring. I don't play that because it's only for Lord of the Rings. And I don't want to put it in my Lord of the Rings commander decks. And I definitely don't want to pay how much it's worth. Okay, so let me show you what the ISS looks like.